Welcome to the Seven Crosses series for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, and we're picking up on the 20th of August 1990. And in this part, what I would like to do is work on our tourist town here. But before that, I need to do two things. First thing I'll do is give you an overall update of where we are with the series. And also, I want to take a macro look at the long-term future. First things first, we'll just work our way across the map. What I've done up here in this oil area is I've built a little construction office here, but oh no, I don't think the guys have got there yet. They're still working their way up to here, because what I want to do here is do some leveling, because we've got potential for more oil in this area. We've got possibly 2 oil fields off there which I would like to get on stream. We've got potential for some more oil about there, so I want to kind of fill in some of this area here. Now I'll kind of elaborate that later on, but I don't want to get too much into that at the moment. The next stop is we go down to Ollerton. Things are going reasonably okay here, but of course one of the things that's slowing up is a shortage of steel, but that's not because the steel mills aren't working efficiently. It's got more to do with the fact that there's so many different jobs on the go at the moment. But you can see here we're currently working on this open store, and once we've got this connection run, what we can do is get the coal-fired heating up. The coal-fired power station is doing pretty well, and we are getting a surplus of fuel in here, so the trucks delivering the oil down is making a difference. I want to check these construction offices. You're working on this road here. This is a new road which I'll explain in a little while. I want to check what these guys have got. A massive pile of things to build. I just want to make sure, yeah, they just want to keep them focused on this area here. I did make a change here because I realized I made a bit of a mistake here, because what I actually did is I forgot to put in a aggregate store for the unloading here to act as an intervention for here. So I've kind of reshaped this so that when the gravel comes in here, there'll be a store which can then be supplied to the cement plant and the prefab panel factory there. Yeah, so that's all corrected. This is the reason why these roads are still being built. Now if I come back down towards Knife Edge, things are pretty quiet in Knife Edge. The one thing I do want to do is check the construction office here. He's got quite a lot of work, but what he is working on is up here in this area. It's a bit long range, but I want him to work exclusively onto this area, and we'll come back to there. But first Foodville is recovering from its problem with loyalty. Just to show you that, you can see we're back up to 32%. It's not brilliant, to be honest. I'm not too worried about that. Now if we get over to our new area here, you can see this harvest is well on the way to being collected, although it probably still needs a bit more. We've now got a new building here which we need to populate, and so this area is being built up. Done here is I've put in some gravel to make this area look a bit more attractive, and I've put some fences along there, but they're a little bit wobbly, and a couple of flower beds. I think these are purely aesthetic. What I want to do is populate this building. Now I'm not going to worry too much about the over 21s because we got 807. So what I'm going to do is we're going to we go to Ollerton first. I'm just going to grab a pretty big building here. U200 from there, and we're probably just grab building here. As I move people out, the over 21s will flow in. I know I could come up here and unlock this, but I don't want this whole building just to be filled with over 21s. I want a bit of a mixed population in here. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. This building takes 300. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. And then we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Of course, what we need to do is make sure people can move into these blocks. And what that should do is release a whole flood of people to this area here. Hopefully we'll get some on this bus stop here. Oh, there's a bit of a mistake here. I thought I built a footpath through here. Okay, we're going to need to kind of maybe come out a little smidge like that. Come to there. Can't, you can get through there. Too steep a descent. Yeah, it would connect. I'm just going to put you there. So I want people from here to be able to get to here. And oh, they haven't done that one as well, so okay. Just accept that. Don't really want the helicopter crews working on this, but what I can do is pick up these guys. These guys are pretty efficient. They got a really impressive list of jobs, but when it comes to roads, they are pretty well supercharged actually. And we're just build that through there, add that on there. Probably add you to that as well. And anything else in here that they could make a contribution towards, probably could do with a little bit of a boost there as well. This is our new area here. We got this being built up, so hopefully it won't be long before we can start producing clothes up here. One thing I do want to check is I wouldn't mind getting my helicopters out here, giving an assist as well. I think what's probably slowing things up, certainly wouldn't mind building these using the helicopters, because that won't put too much pressure on them. And possibly it'd be nice to get, they can give an assist on that. And while we're here, actually, I'm just going to shoot across and pick up these guys, see what these are working on. Right, we're going to get these guys into here on the building side. So you can build that. And we can get this the hook. I think that would be it. Don't worry about the what we call it, the hammer and sickle. In fact, we'll put you on that as well. Go over to Stilton. Stilton is doing reasonably well as well. These guys working on. I wouldn't mind getting another accommodation block here. Oh, you're already working on that one. That's good, because I want Stilton to grow. But one of my main concerns is that if I push the population too hard, we're going to run into a food crisis, so and possibly even a clothes crisis. So I don't want to push too hard. I think over here, road-wise, these roads should be full. Now we've got a couple of missed roads here. I think what we're going to do is just push this guy out. I think I've kept him at 1,000 meters. I'm just going to push him out to 3,000, and he can do his own auto-detecting and fill in this area. So our rail construction crew is working down here, so you get that bit done. Over here, we've got work going on here with electrification. Colville is doing okay as well, I think, from the perspective. I mean, we are getting a fairly steady supply of steel here, so that's looking good. And I think what we're going to do is to wind this section up. We're going to get our trains with one job down. You're laying that section in there, which is good. I can have a pretty good idea which is the missing one. These guys are laying the tracks into here. It looks like it won't be long before they're going to finish this, so I'm going to speed that up so that we'll try and get him finished, because the job will probably drop off and we're going to need to electrify this area here. So we'll just get this finished first, and that will complete the track into here. Oh, you okay. So you're right out here, and he's laying the track into the gravel store. That means that the job that's missing is where I thought it was, which is over here. We've all finished this section here. I think what's happened is he's kind of balked a little bit on that bridge. So we're going to get him to go there. And then we're build into here. I mean, all this is just needs to be electrified. That completes the overview of where we are at the moment. Now, what I want to talk about now is that while I was actually doing the preparation for this video, I started thinking about where I wanted to put certain key industries, and I was thinking about the oil up in this top right hand corner here, and that got me thinking a little bit. And what I did is I started putting some extra infrastructure in, mainly just one to save a bit of time, because I'm aware that constant planning can get a little bit boring. So just to give you an update of what I've been doing is, I'll just draw that down a little bit. I've put the connections through to NATO, so this is going to be our railway export route. And I've also, if you can see it here, is I've put a high tension cable to here so we can export electricity to NATO as well. And what I've done is reshape the power lines here so that the high tension cable comes down through here. So rather than, and that means that we've got a power feed off of here to here, which is different from when I was bringing the power cables from all the way across from there. That's what I've put in there. So that confirms this is where we're going to be exporting goods to the west. Up here, I've put in some oil rigs here. Now, because my original plan was to run rail and road up to here, and I was going to build a big oil town here with the plastics and chemicals here. I've kind of had a bit of a think that it's a little bit out of the way. And of course, one of the objectives of this series is to actually build towns on all the 7 crosses, and there's no cross in this area. So what I'm thinking now is to replicate what I've done on the other side with the oil field. This is just going to be a straight out oil field protected by a helicopter fire service. And then what I'm thinking is that we can either use rail to ship the oil over to this area of the map here, or either that or both. And that leads into the long-term objective of this series, because I'm aware that it's only a matter of weeks now before the crime and justice update drops into the beta branch, and I really want to play on that because I want to work with the new mechanics. And therefore what I'm thinking is that this series is going to become very much a test series for new updates. And also I'm going to shift the focus now to try and use this also to experiment with game mechanics, which I don't normally play with very much, because often they're late game mechanics. So the idea is going to be is that this series is going to continue through the beta test phase. When the update goes live, I'm going to review both my series, because there's a potential that I may want to start a new series, because I'm very interested in how you manage loyalty and policing with a hard start. So that's something I certainly want to look at. And that means that one of the series is going to have to go. And the way I'm thinking at the moment is that when that happens, this series will probably drop down the importance. What I'll be doing is playing a lot more off camera, but given say weekly updates on progress, especially when I'm doing some kind of key points on the actual play. That digression apart, I just want to give you a little bit more of an overview. If we move across here, I'm just trying to follow with the map here. See, we've got down here, I've done a little bit of work with Nuclear Island, and what I've done is I've been trying to put the rail and road infrastructure in, because the thing is I don't really want to run bridges and all the way out to all these islands. So what I've done here is I've put a road connection through to here, which is this big island in the center. Now this big island in the center is going to fulfill several roles. One, it's going to have a town here which will provide the workforce to Nuclear Island, which will be here. So there won't be anyone living in this area, but this is the reason why I've kind of put this extra track across here. This is going to be a tram track. This is why it's got this strange little link through here. And what we'll be doing is using a tram system to take the workers into Nuclear Island. Also in this vicinity, because if you count up the squares, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just above the center of the map. If I stand here. So what I'm thinking in this area is to build another helicopter construction area, which is going to have the open store for all the resources for construction. We're going to put some more helicopters into this area, And of course, more importantly, we're going to have an asphalt and a concrete plant in here, because we've got a lot to build here, because we've got nuclear island to build. We've got, if I come through to here and show you, we've got bauxite over here. So this is going to be my aircraft production area here as well. So we're going to be producing aluminium. We're going to build a pretty big airport here. And of course, the actual, thank you game, the actual aircraft production platform is probably one of the biggest buildings to build in the game, and it needs a lot of resources. Having quite a large construction area here will make a big difference. And coming down in this area, what I've done here is I was kind of messing around in this area, and I've put a construction dock here. And what I'm looking to do is put what we call it here, not the passenger harbour, the medium harbour for the ships out here. So this is going to be a construction area, and I put a bridge over here because what we're going to get in this area, you can see I put a rail line across here. We're going to build quite a large town in this corner, and then along here, this is going to be you could say my international and local port. So along here, we're going to put a whole port complex. And this kind of leads over to the oil field here, which I want to upgrade, which I've already mentioned, because what I'm looking to do is we're going to put in all the remaining industries I need for self-sufficiency. If you're not sure what they are, if we come to fossil fuels, I want to put a chemical plant in here, because the chemical plant needs gravel, crops, wood and oil, and all those can be brought into this area big time. Yeah, we can, and plus the fact we can raise the wood locally. I can ship the gravel in. We're near the farms over here, which means we can bring the crops in, and it also means that the oil can come from over there. And then of course, if we move on to the plastics factory, you can see the plastics needs chemicals and oil. So if we're producing chemicals here, we'll be able to feed the oil and the chemicals into the plastics industry. And then of course the follow on from that is the question somebody asked me a little while ago, where I'm going to put the electronics. You see the electronics needs steel, chemicals and plastic. So if we put the electrical components factories in here as well, we can bring the steel in across the rail network, which is another reason for putting this rail line in. And then of course, following on from that, we've actually got the electronics here, which is electro components, mechanical components and plastics. And I'm kind of half thinking that, considering you can see here that we only need 1.5 mechanical components per day. It says consumption at maximum production. I'm kind of thinking that if we're going to be bringing steel in here, we might set up a small local mechanical components production in this area as well. So this will mean that we won't have to bus in two commodities. We can just bring the steel in and then manufacture it. So we're going to have another fairly big town here, and I know it's going to be a big town, but I think the important thing to remember is that with this dry dock, it needs a big workforce, but we're only going to produce ships for our own use. We're not going to produce them for export. Now, there's only one other slightly eccentric thing that I've put in, is right up here, I've put in a container port. Now, the reason I put the container port in here is the fact that I want to put this in for a possible shipping export to NATO. What I'm kind of thinking is that, well, you can see if I follow the rail line down, the rail line comes down towards Nuclear Island, which is about here. And what I'm thinking is that if I can get this line up and running, and if I show you the prices, we come to prices here. You can see if we explore nuclear fuel, we can get 2.5 million rubles per session. And of course, what we could do is export both to the Soviet countries and NATO from here. And of course, a bit of an added bonus is that nuclear power plants produce waste. So what I'm thinking is that we can use this as a waste depository island out here. So we kind of I've brought the railway here. The reason it stops here is that I need a construction office to be able to do the leveling to make the connection to here. And of course, because this is a container port, we could use this for any other bulk exports that we need. That also gives a reason for having this little town here as well. So I think that is the macro approach, and if I kind of draw this as big as possible, you'll see what I've done is I've run rail lines through here. And what I intend to do now is the railway is only going to cover this large island in the centre. Possibly it may go up to the oil fields, but beyond that, all the connections to these outer islands where we got these three here is going to be either by ship or by helicopter. And I think I've probably spent a lot longer on this introduction than I should have done, but I just wanted to get that off my chest. Say, any other ideas? If you think I'm taking the wrong approach, feel free to chuck it in the comments. What we're going to do now is start working on our little area here. And this is going to be our tourist town. I think to begin with, what we might have to do is import the necessities, so rather than trying to ship them all across the map. We will be bringing a rail line in, but in fact, maybe we should start with the rail line. Actually, I just think maybe if we can bring the rail line down to here, into this area, maybe we can level. What this actually here is a large commune, and because I really wanted to take a look at this, and this is the first opportunity I've had, so I think it will actually fit quite well with the theme. Can't remember what it is now. I can't remember if it's page 2 or page 3. Yes, this is a huge commune. I'll just show it to you. You can see this has got like a whole series of small houses with a road through the centre. I thought that'd look pretty good, kind of just tucked in here. And I think it provides homes for 400. The only big thing is it needs a hot water tank, but I don't think what we'll be doing is probably putting a heating plant over here. The only thing I'm not sure is whether we're going to go wood or geothermal. I'm kind of a bit tempted to go geothermal just simply because I think that would be quite neat to test that heating system out. And so what we're going to do now is just get into here. And what I've put this in the center because what I want to do is put some small buildings around. But I think to start with, we're going to put the shop in. I think we're going to put the shop in up on this corner here. Now, what I'm wanting to do here is give this a little bit of a kind of traditional look, but I don't want anything that's high rise or anything like that. Maybe if we can. Yeah, somebody actually posted a comment saying if you press Control, it speeds up the. If we drop you in here, what's the 45 food, 48 clothes, 5 tons of. I don't think we actually need the. Actually, how many slots have you got for vehicles? Only got 2, so you probably need a cargo station. And what we'll do is then we'll just tuck what we call it, a cargo station behind. We'll just go with my favourite. So you can come here. That will give us the food supply here. What I would like, I mean, there's plenty of footpaths off of here as well. Let's just put in a couple of footpaths so I know where they are. I'm going to put a footpath there. Can't put them out the ends at the moment because we'll just kind of put a degree of symmetry in like that. We'll just put those in like that. And then I thought what we can do is put schools and kindergartens on this corner, and I don't want to put in massive schools, so we're gonna go over here, school. We can put a school in like that. This is a school in for 150. This is a really tiny village school. I don't really want to do that. I mean, we've got a school of music. This is massive. Got a small school that's 60, 40. I'm looking for buildings that are reasonably sized, but not looking too modern. Got the Tudor school here, and we got a side school. Actually, I quite like this side school. So what we'll do is we'll put the side school on this corner. This has got 100 pupils, and what we could possibly do is do it on the axes like this. And we'll just drop you that. and we'll put you to there like that. And then I think on the opposite corners we're putting a kindergarten, a Tudor kindergarten here, and we could possibly put you on this little corner here. So there's a degree of symmetry, and then we got this on this corner here. We can just hook you a bit like that. That gives us 2 schools, 2 kindergartens. In fact, I think what we'll do now is put in the hotels. Now, I'm going to do something that some of you are probably going to think, what on earth is he thinking about? Now, I do have a question. I'm assuming a hostel is the equivalent to a hall of residence, but it seems to have been split now, because I'm pretty sure these used to be in hotels. And if any of you know the difference, feel free to chuck it in the comments. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this great big hotel in, because I'm fascinated by the shape of it. And as far as I know from the mod description, this is actually modelled on a real life building. And what I want is to like have the hotel area up here, so it's like away from the village, as though it's been built on afterwards. So we're going to kind of put you there, and then I don't want too many hotels, but I want enough to be able to get a feel for what's going on. And what I'm thinking is that we could put a mountain one on this side like this. We can get to how many people will this take? 75. And what I want to do is create a slightly chalet effect like that. And then what we're going to do is, if I can find a small hotel that kind of fits with the kind of decor. We got an old building hotel here. Maybe we can, it dominates the church. The church is a bit small, isn't it? Maybe we can put it out here. Ah, that's the wrong way around. Knock you down. Demolish. Get rid of you. Just do that again. Wow. That could be, if I ever build something really big, I'll put an old hotel building there like that, and then we'll put a road system. Actually, could I get that there? No, it's not going to fit, is it? Okay. Maybe we'll make it look a little bit more attractive. If we put a bus stop there, and you can go out like that. So that's the hotels that I want to keep out in this area. Then we're going to kind of build this area up. We're going to need a fire station here as well. But I don't really want to put in the vanilla one. What I'd like is something that fits in with the village here. It's an 8-slot fire station. What does that look like? It's maybe a bit much. What we got here? We got 6 slots here. Now that might look a little bit more like it. Yeah, I quite like. I think this is similar to the one I've used in the 4 corners. So we're just going to put you, maybe just turn you a smidge like that. So we're going to get you there. Of course, what we need now is some form of clinic or hospital. I wouldn't mind putting a priest's house in as well. We need a hospital now. And again, I'm going towards the look here. Not host, hospital, please. Oh, what we got here? Sauna. Amount of patients, 700. I think that fits with the theme of the village, doesn't it? So, for example, we put this here. I mean, it's got no rating, but I mean, a sauna hospital, because we can pretend that this, so we can say that this is actually a spa town. I'm going to put that there. as you may guess, I'm actually making this up as I go along. That looks a bit icky, doesn't it? Almost like it doesn't line up properly. I mean, it could be an optical effect, but a bit better. We'll accept all those footpaths as well while we're at it. So we've got kindergarten, school, and of course we're going to have to... I think I'm not going to put the security police in here because the other role of this town is going to be a little bit of a rebel town. And we'll see how it goes with respect to loyalty if it's completely unregulated. And I think that's probably enough to get started. What we'll probably do is put some more homes around the outside, but I'd like to get this built up first. Now, there's one thing I do want to put in. And again, some of you guys are going to think, what on earth is he thinking about? I want to see here. I'm just going to trim this road back. There. We need to be able to deliver supplies here. We also need to bring passengers for a reason which will become apparent. We don't need 1,500. I think if we can put in a kind of a depot like that there, we're going to pick up a rail line that was going to quite literally run out of here like this. And of course we're going to need to put a crossover there and there. Doing is putting a rail line in so that the tourists can come in by rail as well to this area. Put a line in here like that. We're going to run through to about there, and hopefully I'll have to pick off about there. We're also going to deliver goods to here as well. Oh no, so we need to put this little section in here like that, and then we're going to turn that off now. And what we're going to do is connect these two lines together. This across to you to there like that. Get you through to there. So that is the beginnings of what I'm going to be doing, but now I'm going to get a bit strange. Because what we're going to do here is actually put in on the gas station, and what I'm going to do is put in come back this way a little bit. In fact, it's going to quite a long way out, isn't it? I think I'm a bit inclined to put this in the center about here. I'm going to put this in about here so it's close enough to that road, and then we're going to run this here. This will make sense, I promise you. Thank you again. Actually, that's a bit... What I have to do is kind of curve you out like that, and then we're going to hook you into there like that. You round to into there, and I think you can hook into there like that, and then we'll just put a quick little crossover here. I'm just going to put a road in to here like this. Now I know some of you are saying, why has he put a coaling station in here? Because I've got this slightly quirky idea of running a heritage line between the border and our tourist town here. Now I've got a feeling that the steam trains won't be available now, but if necessary, what I'm going to do is unlock all years, and then we're going to buy a steam train which can then run on this route here. And of course, now if anyone who's a train lover will tell you that one thing you always need is a depot for everyone to go and take a look at. That's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to put in a depot about here. And yeah, that's far enough. No, maybe we're actually we can put it. We flip that. Come round about here like that. Put you about there. Because of course we can't bring the steam trains in from the depot because they'd probably run out of fuel. So I thought if we just put in a little depot like that, and then we've got ourselves a heritage line, which I think could be quite fun once it's finished. Of course, what we're going to need to do now is bring in the boring bit. So we need to find a pathway in that we can. Be a bit tricky, isn't it? To get. Ideally, what I'd like to do is get the cargo drop off, say about there. But it's going to be a bit high up on this slope, isn't it? Because we could just push it this way a little bit. Get it to chase the contours in a bit. It's not really going to work, is it? No, it's not. I think maybe we'd probably use the extra track and run it down into this area. Say about here. I mean, it's not going to deliver that often, so we could probably put you a little bit dicky, isn't it? And what are we going to deliver out here? It's only going to deliver the routine stuff, aren't we? So what we might do actually is I put this back about here like that. Can do is pick the track off here like this. Apologies for the pauses, but I've got a bit of a cough this afternoon and it's kind of been a bit annoying from a recording perspective. And we'll just hook you into there. Just turn that off because I don't need it anymore. And we'll run you down to there like that. And again, we'll just put in a whoops. Wow, lots and lots of things going on. Up to about 10 million. What was I going to do? Oh yes, cargo station. One of my favorites in. Just put you in about there. What that means is we now got the basics in here and we can start to build this up as our tourist area. As I said, to begin with, what we'll probably do is import the food and clothes into here. The other alternative is that I could put a small little farm in here to make it a little bit more of an independent community, maybe out this way a bit, but that's something we can grow over time. Now we've still got a little bit of time left on the video, so I think what I want to do is just try out something here, because by now our lucky guys should be here, and what I want to do is see if I can do a little bit of smoothing with respect to our pump jacks. We got possibility there, we got possibility there. This comes out as far as there, but we could probably put one about here which would overlap there. So let's see if we can do a little bit of leveling. I'm not going to do vast amounts, this is just kind of get things going in the right direction. So we can possibly just level this through and kind of pull this area in. I mean, we don't have to remove all the water, we just need to remove enough to be able to get the right effect. Now, one of the big problems is going to be bringing the water up from low levels, and which is one of the things I wouldn't mind being able to test. We just got you there, just push you out here, and what we should be able to do now is get in a fossil fuel. Why is that? So you come out to about there. This is only 41%, 37%, so it's actually getting worse 54%, 59%, 61%. I don't want to push it out too far into the water. So if we go for 60%, say about there. Oh, there's a 61 flashed up there. If we put you there, that gives another connection. Although we're probably going to have to do some jiggery pokery. With that bit's not probably worth the effort. What we'll do is we'll just level off this area here. We'll just level through here and kind of get this kind of filled in. Make sure there's no water, and we should be able to get another. This is 44%, 43, 42. There was definitely a 44 in here. There is a 44% there, so we can get 44% there, and I think that got a 19% there. And what we're going to need to do is push out here to try and get these two underway. So we've now got that bit there. Whoops. And what I'll do is I'll worry about getting the pipe connections in later on. I think we've got a spare connection somewhere around here. Probably have to take one off of somewhere. Anyway, so we've got two more pump jacks in here. Possibility of two more out here. We've got a possibility of a very low percentage there. I don't think there's anything else in this area. This is 21%. Is 21% worth working towards? Some of these other ones are nearly as bad, isn't it? So I don't want to dwell on that too long. And I think what I need to do now is just see what on earth is going on, because it's not that I don't trust this game, but we've got loyalty low, so important. What is your loyalty? 24%. I mean, we got the guys here covering. Have a quick look at what. I suppose it's just because we've got so many people moved in. It's actually causing a problem, isn't it? And of course, if you watch the previous video, you'll be aware that I said that I was not going to build any monuments in this area. I'm going to build the monuments out here. So we're going to have to put up the low loyalty. I just want to make sure. Why have we got no workers in here? What is going on here? Why do we not have any workers? If you guys don't start coming out here and working, you're going to get very cold this winter. We're just going to need to understand why. I mean, there must be some unemployment in this area. Plenty of workers in there. Oh, we've got lots of people at the university. Oh, we need to wait. You can't teach in there unless you're educated. I think what's happened is that the workforce is being drained out of here. So what we might need to do is just push this workforce down a little bit so that they kind of focus a little bit more on the key jobs, so that we can get some unemployment in here. And we got these buildings being finished, but we are on the 18th of October, so these people could end up freezing. But then it's their own fault. They're all off to church. No one's off to church. There's nobody queuing here. Pop you down a bit as well. We need to create some unemployment so people will start. When I did switch this on, didn't it? Yeah, it says workers waiting. All related vehicles. Right, so it looks like we may get some. Oh, I think part of the problem is they're actually working on these jobs, aren't they? We're just going to have to let things run at the moment. We've got the silo being built here. We've got a nice lot of crops flowing into here from the fields. Although I'm a little bit disappointed with the fact that these are still growing. So I may need to work a little bit on my assignments. The other thing I need to check is that it's been a long time since we looked at this. Yeah, we're down to one job now, which is this one here. Where are we? Yeah, this guy is effectively stopped here. He doesn't do anything. I think just so that he can stay focused. Get all the way out over here. Oops. Yep, you need to work on that. Get back over to here. A little bit further over. This guy is finished all this, so what we need to do now is electrify this line. I can't remember how far back the electrification actually goes. Oh, it looks like it starts about here. So we're going to have to do a little bit of electrification. So electrify. I think we'll keep it simple for the moment. We're going to electrify up to that substation. So you can get there. I mean, I'm only interested in electrifying as far as this section here, then and into here. Once that's done, we can start to deliver out here as well. So things are coming together quite nicely. Health is a bit low, but I'm pretty sure that is due to the pollution that we've got in Knife Edge. Now, I have been thinking a little bit about Knife Edge itself here. What I'm going to do is reshape this possibly into a tourist center as well. Which looks like that looks ominously like my helicopters have run out of jobs, or they don't have anything that actually challenges them. So, because they're probably waiting for steel. No, I don't know what you're waiting for, but I think what we'll do is we'll just give them some more jobs and see where the jobs are. It's a bit difficult because they're scattered all over the map. In fact, probably the place I want them to concentrate on is that, and and if they've got the road capability, I would like to push the road out here. We've got this road out here, which I don't really need at the moment, but I would like this road here, which is coming out to this area here. I'd like to start building this as well, because I need to get the out to the construction office. There's a small construction office out here somewhere. There it is. I mean, I could put a temporary mud road. Once this is built, I could put a temporary mud road in to get the constructors out here, because I want to rework this farm here. Plus, we've got all this is kind of, no, not there. Sorry, there. We've got all this area looks like it's virtually complete. So we need to start thinking about building this large farm. But at the same time, with winter coming, what are you doing? Yeah, I really need these guys to catch up a little bit before I start pushing them harder. What I will do here is, while I'm thinking about it, this is all electrified, but this isn't, so I'm gonna electrify there, and then that means that we can get that all electrified in as well. We'll just have a quick scoot over to Ollerton. This road is being happily built. It's quite a long section of road here, so it's going to take a little while to go. How many more jobs have you got? You're kind of dropping down the list. So what we could possibly do is send you over here to start filling in the roads over here. Some of these roads and footpaths in this area. Footpaths are a nice easy target, so get that built, get that built, that built, that built. Certainly want that built and that built. Oh, the other thing we're going to need to do is power, isn't it? Got all about that. Yeah, you've got a little bit of a list here, so not seeing anything spectacular. So I kind of did a bit of jiggery pokery here with the substations, so we can get there. In fact, we'll get you pushing all the way out now to there. Get that underway. We're not really bringing it together here, probably because we need steel. Steel is the big factor with getting things done, but we're getting there. I think that's the key factor. I want to check the buildings. Get a feeling we've got some extra buildings in here that weren't there before. Was it? Or was this the... No, that was the wrong place. It was Stilton that was putting some buildings together. Over here, wasn't it? These buildings. And I think we're just going to check this construction office. Right, these guys are still quite happily working on the clothing place. About this guy is... Right, he's running out of work. And thank you, game. And you're just working on this area here, so we need to make sure you keep busy. Part of me that would like to maybe... You've got that road there. You've built these footpaths in. You've just got this section of road here. I think I'd like to keep you on your specialization. So this... See what needs to be built out here. I think you can give an assist on that and that. And you're all the way through here. You could assist on that, that, and that. And possibly that. And if we could break through a bit more on this road as well. Maybe get you as far as that bridge as well. Because that brings us into Nuclear Island. And I think that is pretty good. I'm quite happy with that and the way things are coming together. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. What I will do is play through until the end of February just to keep things moving along, give the construction officers a chance to catch up. So until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.